Slide 1. Slide presentation for Lesson 3, SLC 201 by Victor Chavez. Slide 2. The difference between phonetics and phonology. Phonetics is a study and classification of speech sounds. Phonology is a branch of linguistics that deals with systems of sounds, such as English phonology and German phonology. Phonetics describes specific sounds accurately, such as a, and thorn. Both English and German have the same phoneme of as in sit and sitzen, but both languages do not have the same phonology, despite sharing some of the same phonemes. For example, the phoneme of does not exist in Italian phonology or Spanish phonology, and English and German, despite sharing the same phoneme, do not have the same phonology. For example, in German phonology, the sound ü does not exist in English, and English a does not exist in German. Articulatory phonetics describe how sounds are made, regardless of any language phonology. For example, the letter theta, as in like thin, is a dental fricative made with your tongue and your teeth, upper teeth, thorn. And phonetic sounds are represented by the International Phonetic Alphabet. Many sounds are the same no matter what alphabet the language might use. For example, Greek might use the letter theta to represent the same sound which English would represent with the letter pair th. Some phonemes will exist in some language phonologies, but not in other language phonologies. For example, the English sound a does not exist in other Germanic languages, or it doesn't exist in Romance languages, nor does it exist in Greek. Slide number 3. Additional differences. The main aim of phonetics is to describe sounds. Example of a phonetic chart. Here we see consonants. For example, the plosive bilabials of P and B, the nasal bilabial of M, and then the trill bilabials. And we look to the right side. The main aim of phonology is to describe the phonetic inventory of a language. Example of Icelandic phonology. We see 8 vowels. You see the vowel E, U, E, A, O, U in Icelandic. Every language has its own phonology. It has its own set of sounds and consonants, which are not exactly the same in other languages, which makes them unique. You could think of phonetics as all the Legos in the universe, but phonology as a specific set of Legos to make a specific figure, like making a Lego house or a Lego watchtower. And we will go to slide number 4. The basic phonetic sounds do not change, but the phonology of a language can change over time. For example, Portuguese and French have nasal vowels, whereas Latin, from which they came, do not have nasal vowels such as e, o, and a. Latin unus became in Portuguese and in French. These and other changes can turn a language spoken by some into a different accent, dialect, or even new language. For example, the phonology of American English is not exactly the same as the phonology of British English, though there are many different accents and even dialects in the UK. Slide number 5, the difference between phonemes and allophones. Phonemes are units of human vocal sound. Allophones are phones which are different versions of one phoneme. The phoneme t, or t, as in star. The allophones of t, as in t, the aspirated t, tanked, tank. The glottal stop, as in fitness, and the alveolar tap, as in water. Notice how tank is aspirated tank. Many people learning English do not aspirate this sound and say, do you have a tank of water? And which can be a bit difficult for people to understand at first, and then eventually you realize, oh, you mean a tank of water, or a tank, or tar, or whatever word. And we'll go to slide number 6. And conclusion: phonetics is a study and classification of speech sounds. Phonology is the branch of linguistics that deals with systems of sounds within a language or between different languages. Phonemes are units of sound. Allophones are different variations of the same phoneme.